Good evening, Raider Nation. How you guys doing? Welcome to another great episode of The Unfiltered Truth. I'm your host, Phil Jones. Phil Robinson is here, and this is our training camp edition. We're here to give you guys updates from days 2 and 3. Remember, before we get started, subscribe to our YouTube page, The Unfiltered Truth. Check out our website. We have a few articles put out there, and I have my overall quarterback list. Some of you guys will actually love it. Phil, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm over here sweating my ass off. It's hot. I'm out here in the Delta Valley. It's been triple digits all day, and I've just been roasting like a marshmallow. I got the fan blowing on me right now. Drip blew through all of my drink. Need some more drink. I'm a mess, but you know what? We got football to talk about, and that's what's important. And at the end of the show, I have a laundry list of announcements that we got to make moving forward for the season. Got a lot of good things going on. John, what's up? Broncos fan. Yo, BAL, what's good?
Rich, how you doing?
Big Boss Bassick.
Hope everybody's enjoying their evening. Thank God tomorrow's Friday, where we all can cut loose and have a couple of beers. I mean, shit, everybody, it's summertime. We all do it. But anyway, Phil, what do you want to start with, man? Because one, as we know, Kenyon Drake is on the non-football. He's on the non-football list, injury list, or is it the PUP list?
I believe it's non-football injury list.
Okay, so he's on that list. We're not going to see him. Raiders brought in 2 running backs. Was it Jackson? Was it
Darius Jackson and B.J. Emmons. Darius Jackson was a running back out of Eastern Michigan, big burly type. Looks like a one-cut runner. A lot of gun running actually is what I saw from him, and he gun power. He got some decent speed, got a little pop to him. Then I was looking at B.J. Emmons, and he's got a lot of shake and shimmy. But the one thing that a couple things that I don't like is that Florida A&M or I believe it's Florida AU, the Owls had to have had the slowest team in the state of Florida, because none of those guys got any type of breakaway speed. But regardless of that, the other thing that I saw with B.J. Emmons that I didn't like is that he runs high, very, very high.
Well, they're in training camp. We got some guys that can work with them, and then they're going to be able to get the work in preseason. So, because I put it like this. I don't think John Gruden wants most of his starters to get hurt, especially key guys. I don't think he wants them to get hurt. I don't think they're going to show up in preseason as much.
I would be inclined to agree with you, which means that, and we're getting slightly ahead of ourselves, but really it's the truth, is that the practices that you really need to circle and look out for will be the joint sessions with the Rams.
Okay.
That is when we are going to get our first best look at what this team really is.
Okay, then. So we're just gonna see. We're just gonna really end up seeing them just go head to head for a little bit, and then we'll probably have majority of the backups or your some of your second, third string rookies in for that Rams game, but really doing that scrimmage, that's gonna be the real deal.
The scrimmage will be the real deal.
Okay. Hey, I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, wasn't that how it went? Was it 28? Was it 2018? No, it was 2019. We did it 2019. And then it broke out into a little nasty fight, and then Gabe Jackson got hurt. But, I mean, hey, it's football. It's camp. It's back.
It's not the worst thing in the world to have a little overflow testosterone and guys that want to get after each other a little bit. That's what they're paid to do. Now, yes, you need to keep it under control and stay professional, but it gets a little hot out there, and when you smell the man's breath for the last time, you smell the man's breath for the last time. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's real. Oh, that's what I meant to say. You check out my guy from Illinois,
Nate Hobbs, a Levy Smith product. Now, one of the things that if you've been watching press conferences, I believe it was the day one presser, Nate Hobbs got a lot of love, and his pedigree coming from Lovie Smith and the University of Illinois, and the acumen of Lovie Smith was something that was recognized by John Gruden with the proper amount of respect it deserved. And very few times do you see Gruden actually have that level of respect come upon him when he's talking about somebody else. But he thinks highly of Lovie. And from what he's been saying, he's been very impressed by Nate Hobbs. And Nate Hobbs is looking like he's got a great opportunity to come in and take that job that's previously that's been vacated by Nevin Lawson.
Now, my whole thing is, where is Damon Arnett in all of this?
Where is Damon Arnett? So that's another issue altogether, because if you look at it from a myriad of different ways, different people will tell you different things. A lot of people will tell you that Damon Arnett is on the outs and really struggling to keep his job. His teammates will tell you that he's added the weight that he was asked to add, and come out and looking like he is doing everything that they've asked him to do in order to get better and to prove his status as a first round draft pick in the corner that they desperately need on this team. And honestly, that would be the best thing for them. It would be the best thing for them if in this new defense, Trayvon Mullen and Arnett were able to hold off Casey Hayward and relegate him to the slot. There are worse things that could happen to this football team.
So Raiders are in a situation where, hey, Arnett, you're going to have to really ball out if you want to get on this field this year.
Absolutely. That's exactly where they are, not just with him, but with all of their players. So Gruden has been quoted as saying, and I forgot where, and that's my bad, I need to look it up, but he is going to play the best possible players regardless of pay and draft status.
And that's how it should be. There's no more. It shouldn't be the whole scholarship or, well, I brought you in the first round, you're guaranteed to start. No, it shouldn't be that way. And that's how you tend to get the best out of your football team. If you got a guy that's grinding, working harder, and can play better, that wasn't even drafted first or second round, and he's out playing my first rounder, I want to see him out on that field.
Yes.
Without a doubt. Now, the one thing I know that they were working on today, Tanner Muse and Javin White got some work with the 1s and 2s today. So, as you said, they want to see everybody. They want to see how you roll with. Can you keep up with the 1s? Can you keep up with the 2s? Where are we going to put you at? You going to be a guy that we end up maybe bringing back on the practice squad? Are you going to be a special teams guy for us? Or can you fit in and surprise everybody like, damn, you know what? He's playing better than, let's say, Corey Littleton. I hope not, but, it is what it is.
It happens.
Because,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're good, man. And the thing about it, the Raiders, and I've said it, and I've preached it so many times, that the Raiders are in the situation where they have to win now. That win now is supposed to be last year. Even though they dealt with COVID, you got some excuses with that, but the thing of it is,
let me just stop you right there real quick. That's a very key thing that you said, because you said you had some excuses. The beginning of 2020 was all about no more excuses, and yet somehow in between then and now, we've stumbled across quite a few of them. at some point, no excuses has got to hold firm. And like you said, they're in a season where they have to win now. There is no more room for excuses. There is no more room for what ifs. It's got to happen now. It just has to.
I think the only thing I was really getting at that was just COVID just decimating your defense, decimating some of your old linemen. But then again,
the whole league had to deal with it.
Yeah. But I think they're just moving around a lot of these guys. They want to see what they can do. From what we're seeing, what we're hearing, Cleveland Farrell needs to fight for his life. He's another one.
It's not looking good. Yeah, it's not looking good for him. Vic can say that he might not be starting, and he can say all the right things. But on the other hand, it also could be a direct. It also could be a direct shot across the bow for the comments that he made on Instagram, because he went from starting to not starting very quickly, and he's if I recall correctly, he's currently in the middle of his shot protocol, which means that he had to come correct and go get it. Otherwise, he was not going to play. Another name to look out for with that particular set is Jalen Richard. They brought in 2 more running backs, and he's still on the COVID list. And adamant in his position and his right to not put any foreign substances inside his body.
No, and like I said, John Gruden does not have time for this and is not trying to deal with what he dealt with last year. It caused too many setbacks. The wild thing is you have folks say, oh, well, they bounced back and got right back to playing. I'm like, the thing of it is, they're not the same when you come back to playing.
Nope, not even close.
You can literally hear what Von Miller said when he was trying to come back. It was difficult. When you look what happened with Raquel Armstead for the Jaguars, he got hospitalized not once but twice. So when I say that Gruden's going to be like, look, you need to get this. We need to get squared away. We need to be ready to go. I don't want no problems. I don't want to deal with no forfeits. Keep your damn mask on. That's how it's going to be this year.
It's definitely a priority. He made it a point to tell people during his press conference that he got 95% of his team vaccinated and 100% of his staff vaccinated. This is a big deal to him.
Yeah, and now the other thing I was thinking about with going back to Nate Hobbs. You got a special teams guy now too.
Yes, you do.
Nate Hobbs is good as a punt returner and a kick returner. So you always don't have to really rely on Hunter Renfrow back there. But the thing about it, speaking of our wide receivers, and I talked about it on Tuesday night, we have a good, decent set of receivers. I know a lot of people have ridiculed them to the point of they're the worst wide receiver core in the NFL.
Well, if you by that measure, if you look at it, the front office is the worst, coach is the worst, receivers are the worst, defensive line is the worst, whole organization is the worst. If it's anything associated with the Raiders, it's the worst. And I don't subscribe to that.
Yeah. So I'm also going to put it like this. Everybody is healthy. Brian Edwards was not healthy last year. Shit, the same thing with Henry Ruggs. The only thing I say with Henry Ruggs, he had to get better at his route running. Go.
Henry Ruggs has been raved about all off season. You heard Derek Carr yesterday. Was it yesterday? Probably day before yesterday. Come out and say how much more violent he looks in his route running, how much he's imposing his speed in every route on defenders when he's using it. They have been raving about Bryan Edwards for the second straight training camp now. You saw some pictures of him looking like he definitely got some gains in the offseason weight room. Same thing with Ruggs. And they drafted these guys to come out here and do something. And when you look at all of the receivers that they passed on in free agency, that they passed on an ability to trade for Julio, they did it for a reason. And everybody is trashing Ruggs. And Edwards has kind of got a pass considering he was hurt. But at the same time, you didn't draft him as high as you did for him to not play and to not make an impact. These guys are going to be counted on to come in, win the job, step up, and do what needs to be done, and be the guys to take us for the next long haul.
You know what? Oh, I like this right here. I'm gonna.
There's a lot of truth. There's a lot of truth to that, but it's not so much as that. The only reason they're at a bad fit with Carr is because he just doesn't throw to them.
So, I mean, in a way, what he's saying, due to having Waller and you're looking to him as your go-to all the time, it does secondary the receiving core.
Make them secondary receivers, absolutely. But every play has a designed intend target, and you can use Waller and say everything should run to him. But there are times when you just got to get your receivers more involved, and there are times when your receivers got to create some separation and some space. And for this offense to take the next step, because this was a top seven offense, passing offense. They got to get more out of their receivers. Every receiver not named Hunter Renfrow. Nelson Aguilar's not walking back in that door. So this is what you have. You got Willie Snead. You got You got Bryan Edwards. You got Henry Ruggs. You got Hunter Renfrow. You got Smoke. And you got Keelan Doss right now.
And Zay Jones,
who is the most hyped up receiver you'll never see.
And that's the wild thing, because I'm just like, and when they do throw to him, he's there.
Zay Jones, it's mind-boggling to me, and we end up taking this show longer than we intended to, especially, but Zay Jones is probably one of the most perfect fits for John Gruden's offense out of receivers that he's ever had. If you go back to his days in Eastern Carolina, short routes was what he excelled at. He should be Carr's favorite guy to throw to far and away, yet somehow they never ever can get on the same page. And I mean, you can go back and watch tape of Zay Jones running a drag or a dig across the middle with nobody around him, directly in front of Carr, and never even get a sniff.
I just don't get it, because, I mean, when you found, and usually he's lined up on the left-hand side of the field, and when he's there, he's open. You saw when he got his touchdown in that Saints game. I'm like, why are we not seeing more of that? Oh man, he's not lying on this one.
No, but his skill set would fit a lot of short passing, possession passing routes. That's what he does. And so if you got a quarterback who can't bomb it, you need a guy who can get open quickly. And that is Zay Jones' specialty.
If I'm the Raiders, you got to get him the ball this year. Don't try to force things to Hunter Renfrow where you got him jacked up one year. Shit, he got jacked up last year too.
Yep. I watched his life leave his body a few times on a hit. I couldn't understand how in the world it wasn't called a helmet-to-helmet hit.
The other thing, don't throw the ball to Henry Ruggs like you're Thanos throwing a planet at Iron Man, burning that man's hand. I'm like, damn, he just just scorch earth at his hand. What I'm saying is this: you have other options. If everybody maintains staying healthy, I'm John Gruden. First set, second set, third set. Switch it up. Okay, we're going to go all 5 wide receivers. We're going to mix it up. Trips. We're going to add this group. We're going to add that group. We're going to throw some tight ends with it. We're going to go all 3 tight ends and a wide receiver. Man, he has so many. There's so many weapons on this offense. It's not even funny. If you really dig deep and look at what these guys can do, they can literally complete this offense to where you're like, shit. Offensively, these Derek Carr should be throwing about 45 to 50 touchdowns. I'm not even lying.
No, there's no reason.
I literally believe he can do it.
Yeah, there's no reason why they can't get at least 8 each. That would get you to 40.
I literally believe, and folks can call me crazy or you smoking some real good weed or something like that. But look, I believe Derek Carr with this offense, he can throw 40 plus touchdowns. I'm not even bullshitting anybody. The weapons, the keys are there. The running backs are there. The wide receivers are there. The tight ends are there. To be honest, you can get a little fancy with it. There's a play, and it's not illegal. You can throw a play to your left tackle. Have him go out like a little bubble screen. Throw that shit to Colton Miller. Have the tight end come up, set the block, and he just rolls around the corner. I'm telling you, there are so many things that can be done with this offense where you can just be sitting at like, I love it. I got to find that play.
On the Unfiltered Truth, do we draw up passing plays for the left tackle?
I'm just saying, bro.
That's how deep the football level of intellect you can get from the Unfiltered Truth is right here. A screen pass at that to your left tackle. That's upper level thinking right there.
I'm just saying, if we want to be real, our offense was pretty damn good when you involve your big guy. Get your big guy the rock. I'm telling you, you'll fucking enjoy it. I guarantee it. You'll enjoy it. You know, we had Donald Penn getting it. Shoot, even Khalif Barnes got it back in the day.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, we just, kept Marshall
Marshall Newhouse. That's
oh my God, my man
that was the mistakes were made. Did the spinning ballerina twist in the air and then coughed up the rock.
So I say this. The reason why I say he shouldn't have to throw 40 touchdowns, but I want him to throw 40 touchdowns. I want him to let that shit rip. Let it rip. Don't be conservative because you stuck there being conservative and say, okay, I don't got to throw that many touchdowns. No. Blow these teams out, bro. Blow them out.
You heard it from Kurt Warner, the ultimate in Jesus Loves Me. He's the diehard. Well, that's a horrible way to say it, but a devout Christian man. Devout
I'm
Christian
gonna have a talk with you tonight.
Yeah, right. Need to put the sauce down. But that he even said that there are opportunities to continue to remain aggressive. Said speed kills, but the thing with speed is you got to give it some time to truly get your separation.
Right.
And the good pass, the smart pass can be a check down, but you got to take advantage of all of your weapons and their individual talents. A power guy can get open if you give him some time to separate it after the break. A speed guy can burn down the field, but nobody can do anything if you're throwing the ball in 2.2 seconds. That gives them enough time to get off the line and probably into their first break.
Now, that's one thing that caught my eye right there. Gruden won't allow that. You know what? If Derek Carr is talking about he wants to see his team win, he wants his team to go to the playoff, and he wants to channel Mamba mentality, and he wants to have ring season. Well, sometimes you just going to have to tell John Gruden, kiss my holy ass. Just kiss it. Jesus told me to say that. I got to go score a touchdown. I'm going to be real. If you look at everybody, like shit, Brad Johnson didn't take no shit off of John Gruden.
Nope.
You look at damn sure with Rich Gannon, he didn't take no shit off of him.
None.
Rich Gannon said, you can kiss my flat white ass. I'm going to run this shit right here.
Right here, this shit.
Gannon was looking at him like, fuck you mean? Bye.
Yeah. Go over there.
And the thing about it, if Derek Carr wants his new contract, boy, you better look like the second coming of football.
Yeah, if he expects to get a raise anyway.
Derek Carr better look like brand new Brett Favre.
It's now, definitely now or never. The time has come. That's where we are. The time has come, and what has been in the past is in the past, and what we're going to focus on this season is what Derek Carr needs to do in order to be successful this year. Because right now, at this stage in the game, we are the biggest Derek Carr fans in Raider Nation. Why? Because we're not here to root against a guy for our team to lose. We're here to root for a guy for the team to win.
That's where I'm at, man. I mean, literally. I can't go and sit and watch this team and we're 9-8, or we take a step back and go 8-9. You got folks saying that we're going to go 7-10.
That's what they're running
around and saying that this team is going to go 7-10.
That's what we're putting money on. Not saying that. That's what people are putting money on 7-10 and the under and feeling confident about it.
That ain't right. But then again, you have to look at history with the Raiders, and folks are like, well, you know, they look good one year. They almost look like they were going to have it, and then they just completely implode. And then folks are like, well, you know, the past 2 years, the second half has looked terrible, offensively and defensively. So my thing is, you can't blame them. You can't get mad at it. You can just say,
It's a very honest and accurate assessment. Very honest and accurate assessment. And a lot of the Raiders play has been something that you wouldn't want to look. You wouldn't want to look at and have to acknowledge. This defense is going to get better. one way or another, because it's almost impossible to continue to be that bad when you have capable, competent coaching. The 3 C's, capable, competent coaching.
And it's not even that. You have competent coaching this year, and you also have certain veteran players. I mean, they're still young, but you have certain veteran players that have good damn common sense that have came in. I don't care what people say about Solomon Thomas. He got good damn common sense. Now, does he need to touch up his game? Yes. You had brought in Yannick Ngakoue. Good damn common sense and can help lead these guys on that D line. Quentin Jefferson's another one. Darius Phelan's another one. I can go on and you name these guys. These guys know what is expected from their their defensive coordinator being Gus Bradley. They have played with him. They played under him. They know what he wants from them, and they got a job to execute.
And not only that, he's got them believing and buying in. Max Crosby said in his little press conference that we're four as one. And then in a conversation that he had with Vic Tafur, Cleveland Farrell said while he may not be starting or what in a starting position, he's not worried about it because the unit has to perform as one and he has to be there to do his job. So whatever it is, every possible change that they got having to prove themselves, guys are embracing this newfound strategy of working as a unit. Now, the significance of that, while it sounds cliche and should be fairly straightforward, is that the last few years, especially under Gunther, when you've seen the Raiders defense, you've seen 11 guys all doing their own thing. And successful defense is not 11 guys doing their own thing. It's all 11 guys doing one thing.
And I'll say this right here. You look at Gus Bradley's defense, even going back to Legion of Boom, even though you heard those named players and whatnot, but when it was first starting off, guys had to play as a collective unit. If you did not play as a collective unit, you look like shit. You look like you shouldn't have been out on that field playing football. You should have been a guy that shouldn't even got drafted or even signed to the league. Gus Bradley is about doing your job. I know we hear that from Bill Belichick, but the thing about it, you heard it first from Gus Bradley. If you need to go back and see that video again with Gus Bradley back in the day when he was with Seattle, chewing out them guys, Lofu Tutupu and Aaron Curry, he was chewing them out.
Giving it to him.
Hey, it's posted on my Twitter page. Y'all can watch that whole damn video again. He is not playing. He wants execution. If you're not executing, he will find someone else. And the other thing is this. As long as guy 1, guy 2, guy 3, and guy 4 on that line is doing what they're supposed to do, at least 3 out of the 4 did their job to like create pressure or got to the backfield, that's all right. There's always going to be sometimes someone's not going to win their battle. But if we have everybody else around said, that's all right, I got back through there. That's all right, he got back through there. We're going to be all right. See, the problem we were having that shit, like you said, Phil, guys trying to do their own shit where you end up looking mentally, I'm not even going to say that word because, some folks get offended and, you look idiotic back there. Unprofessional back there.
Undisciplined.
And exactly. And one thing that we've been hearing about, Jonathan Abram, you always heard him being the rah-rah guy going off going off like as Lone Wolf McQuaid and doing his own thing. Not this year. They said Jonathan Abram been quiet. He just been sitting back, and you know what he's doing? Listening. You know what Jonathan Abram is doing? Watching. Learning. The shit we used to get told 24/7 when we were in grade school. Watch, listen, learn.
Cannot listen. Cannot listen with your mouth. With your ears. And it's Bradley is probably one of the best coaches for his game. What he does best is fits nicely into what Bradley's scheme is for a strong safety. And Abrams has all the tools in the box. He just needs to be better mentally, and he needs to be more disciplined. And the fact that he's got his mouth shut is tremendous, and it shows that he is about doing what it is that he needs to do to get better, because you can say how good you are until everybody uses PFF rankings as the gospel, and at PFF ranked him as the worst safety in the league. You don't talk when you are ranked the worst safety in the league. You need to shut your mouth, get to work, and figure out a way for that to be somebody else.
Exactly. But, Jay, I love what you said right there. Abram, he's looking at all them safeties in that locker room like, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
All of these guys ain't the deep safety, and a couple of these guys that they drafted is all big enough to be right here in my spot.
Because, there's a guy we brought back, Carl Joseph, can come right in that box and play his spot.
Said, we got a gift from God. Divine Diablo was drafted. Said he'll be divine for Raider Nation, and he'll be Jonathan Abrams Diablo.
I like that right there, bro. That's a good one. But, you see that nobody's job is safe.
Nobody's.
And, got within the running back room, shit, even the quarterback room, your fullback, even though, I like Alec Ingo, but you brought an old boy from Wisconsin, one of the other running backs, and Groshek. He's a nasty motherfucker. Ooh. You have all these receivers, your old linemen. Oh, and I saw it earlier. Hold on real quick. I just want to hurry up and get this in because we only got like a few minutes left. Yeah. Yeah. How's Leatherwood and the O-line doing?
Saw something interesting about that that looked like it could have been innocent enough. Said it looked like they were doing some pulling drills and doing some zone blocking drills, and the particular direction of the tackles were interesting because it was counterintuitive to the positions that they're listed as playing. But Olsen was high on his offensive line. Olsen talked very highly of Andre James and his ability to be the leader on this offensive line that the center is supposed to be. His versatility from going from playing guard to being the center, having to sit behind Rodney, talking about the veterans Richie Incognito and Denzel Good, and how key it's been to have them be the communication bridge to the tackles, to working with Colton Miller, to working with Alex Leatherwood to make sure that they were on the same page. And that's what it's going to take. And it's not impossible, and it's really not as difficult as a lot of people have made it out to be. All it requires is time, effort, and energy.
No. And once again, you had PFF saying this is the worst O-line ever. They got rid of Rodney Hudson. Now all of a sudden graded to be the number one center for Pro Football Focus, which they didn't do last year.
Or the year before.
They had him drop down to what, 7th or 8th?
That was like getting real disrespectful.
That's what I'm saying. You know, their PFF is full of shit. All right. I'm sorry. I said it. They're full of shit because all of a sudden you got him as number one out of all linemen, center on your PFF board. Don't go by that, okay? I said it. Don't go by it. I choose violence, all right? Don't go by it.
Notice how all of a sudden you see that picture of him hiking the ball in that little Cardinals uniform all over the place.
Another thing is this. When you have guys like Tom Cable, Richie Incognito being able to help guide him, and I'm going to point out DeAnthony Batista, that's the strength and conditioning coach. He's a big help, especially being a former lineman. Big help for those guys. So when you're hearing everything from like these little nerds saying, well, I don't think they're going to be great, they're wrong. Because the other thing is this. Andre James was training behind Rodney Hudson for the past 2 seasons. So you end up learning something. So other than that, I'm not going to get into a whole long speech like Stephen A. Smith usually does. You guys?
To the announcements. Look for I, Philip Robinson, have once again rejoined the Raider Ramble in writing. So you can look for my articles on the RaiderRamble.com. I expect to see them on Bleacher Report. And it is also the Raider Ramble. We are now going to be partnered with them, and we're going to continue to do what we do, and they're going to help us pump our content. Mario out there is real good with that, with getting us out there, helping increase our exposure. So we want to take this opportunity to say thank you to the Raider Ramble and tell you once again to look for the show on the Raider Ramble, in addition to all the other places you can find us: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, the UnfilteredTruth.com website, Facebook, the Unfiltered Truth page, all of that. And most importantly, we're working on a deal with a Black-owned sports network to get our content aired over there, and they're looking to build subscribers. And if you can help us we'll get a link for it. If you can help us by subscribing to that, you can help us get paid. Not even gonna lie to you. Yeah. We trying to get paid. Shoot, can't keep doing this for free. But
it's been a long time coming, y'all.
Long time coming. But look for my article on Josh Jacob preview tomorrow morning sometime. Other than that, I'm Phil Robinson. That's Phil Jones. We are the Unfiltered Truth.
Y'all take care. God bless. And enjoy the rest of your evening.
Dumb Nation.